proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage.
No surprise there, Jadeveon Clowney with a tackle for loss. We all know how he became one of the most famous players in football, though, don't we remember?
Oh, that one play.
Yeah, that one big-time play. It was on highlights everywhere. They want to see more of that here in the NFL.
The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal. And now for the offense, this is play number 11 here on this drive. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this is not going to do it as he's stopped at the 2-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Jalen Smith out of Notre Dame. Partner, that's got to be one of the best stories in the NFL, seeing him out on the field.
Yeah, it really is. That injury that he had during the bowl game against Ohio State, boy, that hurt his draft stock. So nice to see him out there.
I had him rated as the top player in his class in 2016 before his injury. He ends up going in the 2nd round, and now he's starting to make the plays we expected to see.
They've gotten it to the 1. Can they get that final yard here on 3rd and goal? They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. And the former Florida Gator, Sturgis, gets it to go. And they bump the lead up to 4 now at 10-6. So a 15-play drive. Can't believe that only resulted in 3, but it did.
That is somewhat amazing, isn't it? When you hold the ball that long, run offense that well, yet only put 3 points on the board, it has to be a little bit of a disappointment, doesn't it?
Has to. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the 2nd half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the 2nd?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the 2nd half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. The one running back is Gurley. They'll drop to throw. It's complete right side to Benjamin. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Here comes carry number 10 for Gurley. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Back now here on EA Sports. It's Buccaneer football, but they've got work to do. They find themselves behind here to start the 4th quarter. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now you can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there. When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a first down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play.
And he finds a man on a crossing route. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. So they're on that play. Offensively, they were in the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play. I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. That's caught at the 1. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
They'll try and push it in with Gurley. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
All right, Brandon, you know me as well as anyone. You know I don't usually advocate abandoning things during a game, but here we are in the second half. I think it's time to change things up.
And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Jeff Driscoll, his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season. And the Bucs have taken the lead here in the 4th. He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. The Bucs ready for the kickoff, and here we go. It's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field, become dependable targets for their quarterbacks, and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Time starting to run out here in the 4th. This defense just trying to keep the offense off the board and preserve this potential victory. Here's Dalton. And Eifert has it. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Oftentimes we think of those tough yards as grinding yards that a running back has to pick up. How about the tight end there picking up the first down in that situation?
That's what he's there for, right?
Big fella, get it to him, let him fight off some people and pick up the necessary yardage.
The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. They go play action here on 1st down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Give him 6 on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Dalton throwing on 2nd down. And he's got his man in stride, complete. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. And, of course, the quarterback in this situation, he's realizing time is becoming a factor. Let's see if they can get some points on the board here late. Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
He'll look to throw. James has got it, complete. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Still in search of the first down after that last completion. They come out here in the eye. And they'll run it here. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. They'll look to throw. Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. Bryant, the lone receiver, left. They'll give it to him right up the gut. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. And now the Bucs deciding to take a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. A long drive here. Play 12 coming up for the offense. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. Back to throw. Surveying the field. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Jadeveon Clowney in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Well, partner, still a head-scratcher to me how this one ended. Down 3. I just thought, no matter the situation, you're in a spot where you can kick that field goal and go to overtime. Why not do it?
And this is where I think the analytics guys are going to continue to get more and more traction in the league. We've talked about different people now saying, I need a game management coach, someone in the booth to take the emotion out of it. Did they lose track of where they were on the clock, right? Did they lose track of where they were on the field? Was it makeable for their kicker? All those things come into play here, and it turns out they don't get it done.
So for the Bucs, it's an important win for their postseason hopes as they at least get back to 4-5. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they'll lose an important one here as that drops them to 5-4 on the season. And they'll look to get back on the beam next week as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers.